evening. It's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2016. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The Constitutional Court has rejected Parliament's request to remove the suspension from the vetting law with the argument that they are waiting for the Venice Commission's opinion on the law, expected to be received on December 10th. The court's decision was announced in the presence of U.S. Ambassador Donald Toulouse and EU Ambassador Romana Vlahutin, the two initiators and the strongest supporters of the vetting law and of the reforms in the judiciary system of Albania. The Chief Justice of the Constitutional Court said today that no circumstances have changed since the law was suspended that would make the court change its decision. The vetting law was suspended at the request of the opposition, led by the Democratic Party, to abrogate the law on the reevaluation of judges and prosecutors, also known as the vetting law. The Constitutional Court has suspended the law and has requested the Venice Commission's opinion on the law. The Socialist MP Pendeli Maiko, on behalf of the majority, asked the court to remove the suspension as the reasons for suspending this most important law of the judicial reform is not known. After its decision not to remove the law suspension, the Constitutional Court began to thoroughly review the law and listen to the parties' arguments. The Democratic Party, the Union of Judges, and the Socialist MPs Maiko and Hussey. The parties volleyed their arguments in favor of and against the law. The Democrats explained that they are not against vetting and clarified that their request is to avoid political control in the vetting process. According to the Democrat experts, the current draft of the vetting law puts the system under the Prime Minister's control, and that accepting the law as it is allowing political control and protecting the corrupt. The Socialist MP Maiko declared that the law was prepared with the help of the U.S. The judge Vladimir Christo criticized the political parties for the way the judicial reform was drafted. The implementation of this most important vetting law cannot start before December, after the Venice Commission gives its opinion on the law. The EU and U.S. ambassadors have invested a lot in the realization of the reform, while the EC has assessed the law to be ultimately important for furthering steps towards Albania's integration. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dietmar Buschati, paid a visit to Berlin, where he was received by the German Foreign Minister, Frank-Walter Steinmeier. During the meeting, Minister Buschati expressed gratitude for Germany's willingness to continue to play this role, especially today when the EU is facing difficult challenges, and expressed the importance to continue the enlargement agenda as an essential element for the region, but also for the EU. Europe is today in a period of hesitation, doubt, and uncertainty. To Albania, Germany's attention and leadership in these turbulent times represents a secure and stable factor, declared Foreign Minister Buschati, praising Germany's support for Albania's integration and guaranteed the government's commitment to continue with the reforms. For his part, Steinmeier praised Albania's progress of the state-building reforms, considering the full implementation of the judicial reform as a cornerstone for the European integration path, focusing on the approval of the judicial reform and the role of Albania in the region. The approval of the reform is an expression of development and of the internal political consolidation. Albania, which was not expected by many in Germany, has become an anchor of stability in recent years in the Western Balkans and is a close partner not only of all Europeans together, but also of Germany alone, Steinmeier said. Discussion of the 2017 budget for the Ministry of Interior set off a great deal of debates in the Parliamentary Commission of National Security, where the minister was called to report on the budget for the Ministry of Interior. After a debate with the Minister of Interior, the Democrat MP Flamur Noka used offensive words against the chairman of the commission. During his reporting, the Minister of Interior declared that the 2017 budget offers 145% more opportunities to invest compared to the 2013 budget. The The minister declared that investments to modernize the state police and investments in police infrastructure will continue. But the opposition's MPs accused the Minister of Interior of being connected with drug traffickers, and according to them, the order and security are at their worst. In response, the Minister of Interior said that the order is higher than in the last 25 years. The exchange sparked debates between the opposition and majority members, a debate that intensified after the minister left the meeting before it finished because of other commitments on his busy agenda. The opposition member's reaction was harsh, accusing the chairman of the commission of not being able to manage the meeting, adding that the minister should not have left without permission. The chairman of the commission considered the opposition's behavior to be irresponsible and asked the Assembly Speaker to gather the Bureau of Parliament to exclude Democrat MP Flamur Noka from parliamentary activities for 10 days. The opposition members abandoned the meeting of the commission, and the majority members approved the budget for the Ministry of Interior in principle. The governor of the Central Bank of Albania suggests that the government be careful with the collection of revenue and the level of public debt during 2017. During his reporting at the Parliamentary Economic Commission, the BOA governor stated that the 2017 could be a difficult year for the economy since it is an electoral year. Forecast revenues, as well as any other economic forecasts, are surrounded by uncertainties and risks. Knowing and understanding this fact makes it necessary to take measures for their identification and computation, and paves the way for effective management of the possible consequences. In line with our previous suggestions, the Bank of Albania considers that the process of drafting and implementing the budget would benefit from the construction of an alternative budget scenario, which would be executed in case of major deviations from the forecast, declared the BOA governor, who also responded to the Democratic Party's question over the low minimum level of living. During his reporting, the governor of the Central Bank of Albania declared that the interest rate will continue to be reduced in hopes that will boost loaning in the country. 2017 budget for the Ministry of Education is predicted to be 51 billion lek, the Minister of Education reported at the Parliamentary Education Commission today, where he declared that the government will not give funds to private universities, ending the discussion that higher education reform favors private universities. Opposition members were not present at the Parliamentary Education Commission meeting, declaring that they were not notified about the meeting. Meanwhile, the majority's members were dissatisfied with the low budget the government has predicted for sports. 200 million lek is the budget predicted for sports for the coming year. The MP, Fidel Yuli, declared that the funds for sport should increase and that Kosovo has its budget for sport 3 to 4 times higher than Albania. The Minister of Education declared that 2 billion lek will be used to increase teacher salaries. The Party for Justice, Integration and Unity supports business owners' concerns regarding the Chambers of Commerce law. During a meeting with some reps from the Business Association, the chairman of the Party for Justice, Integration and Unity, who is a majority ally, declared that the law must be urgently regulated. The Chambers of Commerce law states businesses' mandatory membership into a Chamber of Commerce. The PJIU chairman feels the government's attitude is wrong. We support businesses. The government's attitude is mistaken and it should be urgently fixed. We will do everything to support your initiatives, declared the PJIU chairman. Also, the Association of Banks argues the law is unconstitutional and violates businesses' rights. It is inefficient, and this is a practice that has also failed before, declared a rep from the Association of Banks. The President has returned the Chambers of Commerce law to Parliament for review. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.